I've been in 9, 8. Oh, we're live. You can't see me.
We are live.
Now.
Okay, but now I can see TV. Okay, wait, there. Let's tip it like that.
Should I get another chair?
Okay, see. Up to you. Okay, folks.
Can you tell who's on here?
Ask questions.
Where do I go?
What do you mean you don't see me?
Go
click the link. I posted on Google Classroom.
I did click the link.
No, go to the new link I just posted.
Get out of there?
Go to the link I just posted. So yeah, I'm going to talk about this month. About answering some questions.
Oh, here we are. Oh, I see myself.
All right. Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to give it another minute since it's just 2:00 right now and give people a chance to get on. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about this month. And I can't tell if what you all see is mirror image or not. Is it mirror image for you, Mr. Moore?
For me?
Like when you see 2:00, does it read 2:00 or is it mirror image?
It reads 2:00.
Yeah?
And it reads Wednesday, April 15th.
Like normal though?
Uh-huh.
That's impressive. I'm impressed. YouTube technology is amazing, y'all. I hope everybody can hear okay. I'm looking at the little green dots to see if you can hear okay. All right. Today I want to go over basically what's going on this month. And so you should be able to see that on the screen. So I am screencasting what is on. See, I kind of need to go this way a little bit. Sorry, Mr. Moore, you're only going to have a little bit in there so that everyone can see what's on the screen too. So when you are on Google Classroom on your phone and you see all your classes and everything, I know it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I just want to talk through it. So let's click on U.S. History Period 6. So first, when you're very first scrolling through, you see that on U.S. History Period 6, there is the 3 things that are due there.
It's hard to see the words.
I can scooch closer.
Should
I scooch closer?
Maybe. Not to scoot back.
Or you could just be your voice in it.
Okay, fine. I'm here, by the way.
Can you see it a little bit better now? How's that?
It's a little bit better. I just have bad eyes. It's better. You can see it. Just the small writing is harder to see. That's all.
Okay. Well, it is what it is. I'm going to talk about it too. So when you very first click on Google Classroom and you see the different classes, you see the preview of like the first few things that are due. So today you see midterm, you see that you need to choose your Do Something campaign, and you see that there's the article for World 1. But let's talk a little bit more about everything that I have embedded in there. So when you very first click on it and you get your 3 tabs, you get the stream and the classwork thing. So if I click on classwork, so the very first thing up there when you click on classwork should be your midterm. So let's start out by talking about the midterm a little bit. The midterm is due tonight at midnight. As of right now, about 50, I think it was 50 or 58 of you have taken it. There's 119 of you, so some of you need to get on that, but I know you like to wait till the last minute, so that means probably basically
we're at the halfway point.
At 11 o'clock tonight, but actually, technically, we're more than halfway now. This is like week 13.
It is. Well, what I'm
12?
saying is we're at the halfway point with
the
students submitting the midterm.
Oh, I see. Anyway, oh my gosh, you're
Come
so
on,
confusing.
keep it up, guys.
You're confusing me.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so the midterm, you can't hear very well. Can you hear if I speak up? Is your sound up? Mr. Moore, maybe you should go.
Oh, see if I can?
Yeah, go in the other room and see if you
should go.
Oh, see, you
can
hear.
I can hear you.
Sorry, I don't know who Joe Cab Lopez is. Joe? Jonathan? No? Okay, I'll just speak louder. I'll speak nice and loud.
Turn up your volumes.
Oh, maybe I can also, if I tip this up like this. Oh, but then you can't see.
Yeah, I'll type in. Turn up.
Yeah, turn up your volume.
Volume.
I'm trying to put something under here, see if that helps too. Put this puzzle box. How's How's that? Is that a little bit better?
Yes, it
I
sounds
think.
better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I'll just try to talk nice and loud too. Oh, wait, no, same screen. Don't fall asleep. Sorry, y'all. It's first time trying this way, but I feel like this will just work easiest. So, the midterm, the first thing that I noticed on the midterm was that so far, a lot of people are not utilizing your research skills. I think maybe you're just trying very carefully to like not be a cheater. Don't call your friends. But other than that, as long as you're using your own head and your own research ability, you can research the questions that are on the midterm. If there's something you don't know, like go ahead and look it up. If there's something you're not sure about, look it up. The midterm is designed such as that it really is testing your ability to find correct information as much as it is to know what you're looking for. So go ahead and definitely take the time to look things up. It's helpful and everything. So yeah, the midterm is due tonight at 11:59 p.m. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is that your midterm is you are going to get an opportunity to do quiz corrections. So I will spend most of tomorrow going through and checking all of your grades. And there's some of it's a little bit confusing that I'm giving like partial credit for. So it'll take me a while to grade. But after I grade it, I'm going to send out your scores. And if you don't like your grade, you are welcome to do quiz corrections and submit those on Friday to get partial credit on those. So that's the midterm. The other thing that I have posted is I have posted this office hours calendar right there. So me and Mr. Moore, we will be doing some office hours like this. We'll also do some Google Hangouts. They will vary. So I would suggest that you like save this somewhere. I'm going to leave it pinned at the top of Google Classroom. But I've put the important projects on there as well as the times that or meeting or doing videos. So this video today will be the same as the 7 o'clock one tonight. So if you're here now, you don't have to come tonight. Then on Friday, I'm available just for call-in for questions. I'll post a phone number and a meet so that you can pop in on video or whatnot. Especially that's when you'll be able to work on your quiz corrections for the midterm. So if you have questions about it, that will be the time to pop in. If you don't understand my feedback, you don't have to do corrections for the midterm, but if you want a higher score, you'll be able to. And then next week, I have call-in hours that's just calling about questions about the Do Something project. And then the following week, me and Mr. Moore and Ms. Friel and maybe Mr. Shoji, I don't know, I guess it depends on what's going on with AP. We're going to be hosting an office hours session to talk about the project in general. So that afternoon, you might want to pop in about the project. I'll also try to do another video meeting, either like this or via Google Hangouts. We'll see which works better on the 27th. That's on that calendar there too. And also just to talk about like the intro to the Cold War and the Vietnam War and everything like that. So this calendar is one of the resources that you have posted on the top of Google Calendar. And then the other thing that you have is the school's distance learning plan. And then I have distance learning tasks. So April to June is where we are at right now. And this follows everything that you need to do for the stuff that me and Ms. Friel are combining on, as well as for the stuff that is just history. So
when will the corrections be due for the test?
Friday. Ideally Friday. Yeah.
Friday.
If you end up taking over the weekend, that's fine too, but ideally Friday. But all due dates right now are flexible. Think of due dates as like a guideline, which I put at the top. Due dates are flexible. Due dates right now are to help you like just sort of pace yourself so that you don't get like an avalanche of work. But like I'm still gonna collect things or accept things late. So yeah. So this week is World War I and also the midterm. And you're choosing your Do Something projects this week. The World War I, we are zooming through because I know that Mr. Alcian spent a lot of time on that last year in world history, so we're not spending a lot of time on it, but there is an article. Oh my gosh, that car alarm is so obnoxious.
Are we going to be on Zoom?
Are we going to be on Zoom for what?
You said zooming through.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. Where I guess I shouldn't use the word Zoom anymore. Zoom has like got a completely different definition. Dear
Just
Jesus.
saying.
Okay. We're gonna go through the World War I very fast because you spent so much time on it last year. So there's an article and a quick quiz to do on that. An article, a little photo analysis. So do that stuff. Speed. Yes, I'm gonna have to use the word speed instead of Zoom now. Wow, like man, society has changed one of my favorite words. What a trip. Anyhow, so then week 12 next week. So see, we are actually past the halfway point of the school year too. Week 12, we're going to focus on World War II. We're also not going to spend a lot of time on that. I know that you already talked about the Holocaust and all of the battle strategies and stuff like that last year. So what we're going to talk about is World War II on the home front, what it was like for Americans here, the sacrifices that they were willing to make and things like that. So we're going to be doing a project where I'm going to share with you a link to a bunch of interviews that were done. And I'm going to assign an interview to each of you. And it's going to be like a person that they interviewed that tells their story in little audio clips. Do we get PowerPoints from this stuff? I can make some PowerPoints. I have a lot of videos. Like for the World War II one, instead of a PowerPoint, I have a crash course history video on there. But there's really, you won't really need a PowerPoint on this because I'm not going to talk about battle at all. It's just a mini project on World War II. What it is like you'll go listen to someone tell their own story of like what it was like to be a teenager during World War II, the jobs that they got, if their parents went away. I can make a PowerPoint too. I have PowerPoints from last year too, so I can go adapt those, but I'm cutting everything way short because last year I spent like 2 weeks on World War II and I saw people every day, but I don't want you to have that much work. So we're just gonna do just the oral history project. You'll love the oral history project though. It's just listening to a couple of videos and then you'll like sort of summarize what you got out of it. And then there's a movie. I don't know if any of you, probably as cheesy and cliche as it is, probably you females, but some of you that identify as female probably when you were little liked the American Girls books. Did any of you read the American Girls books? I read the American Girls books. They came out, the very first one came out when I was in 5th grade.
I did not.
Because you're a boy. So there's like, you know, society makes you think that as a boy, you can't read American Girls, but you can.
Yes.
So the American Girls books basically are historical fiction that follow the lives of people during different times in history. And the American girl Molly, she was a child during World War II. And so I found a movie that I just love it. It is the most feel-good war movie you will ever see in your whole life. And you think that's funny, like how could a war movie but feel good? But like, no, seriously, people cried happy tears last year when we watched it. Everyone was like, oh, there's so many like, oh, moments in it. But it's about, she's middle schooler. She's like middle school during World War II, and her mom gets a job and her dad goes away to war. And so it's a movie that's going to be extra credit. And I found the whole thing. It's called Molly, an American Girl on the Home Front. And this is all on your assignment to-do list too. So you can go and cross-reference that later. And it's on YouTube, but it's chopped into pieces. It probably shouldn't be on YouTube, but I don't feel bad about sharing it with you because I did pay for it. I paid for it and it's educational purposes. So
Molly, what was it called?
Molly, an American Girl on the Home Front. And I will post that very soon. Super cute movie, like puppy dog cute. So that is going to be pretty much all we're doing on World War II, is going to look at some interviews with people that were young during World War II to see what their life was like. Oh, you can watch it on YouTube. The video will be on YouTube. I will totally post it on YouTube. Maybe I could even link it in the comments right now. Yeah, let me grab that movie right now. YouTube.
You pay for it?
I paid for it originally on Amazon, but
I have the link right here.
Molly, where do you have the link?
It's on IMDb.
No, that's not going to be the whole movie.
Oh.
Here we go. See, American Girl on the Home Front.
Oh, gotcha.
right here. Okay, it's a playlist of it in 6 parts. I'll post it in the comments. That is the movie. So Molly and American Girl, that'll be the extra credit. Then we're going to move on and we're going to spend quite a bit more time because I know that last year you sort of soap today. What does that mean? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so well, we have to do a summary to get the extra credit. Oh, yes, I have an assignment. It's an actual like graphic organizer that are like, what are the challenges that Molly goes through? It's not like a full summary. I'll send out the assignment soon. I'll send it out right after this, actually. I was going to wait till next week.
Website.
Oh, okay. So yes, it'll be due next Friday. Not this Friday, but next Friday. But like I said, all due dates are flexible. So I'm gonna spend more time in the American Girl doll, but is that actually the movie? I don't know. Anyhow, I'll post it. So I'm gonna spend a lot more time. I need to like not pay attention to the chat.
When is it due?
Approximately next Friday. It is due next Friday, but due dates are flexible. So we're going to spend more time on Vietnam because the Vietnam War changed America remarkably. There is so much about the Vietnam War that during the Vietnam War, Congress gave way too much power to the president, and the war powers that they didn't even declare war before. They just all of a sudden gave them like a ton of power, gave the president too much power. So the way that the Vietnam War was handled both by Congress and by American society is pretty significant. So we're going to spend a lot of time on that. Not so much the actual war itself as the way that it changed America, especially because up before this, Americans in general supported war. Like in World War I, everyone was like, yeah, we're going to like, you know, defeat the fascists and it's going to be intense and all that. But and in World War II, people like were very proud of supporting World War II. But in Vietnam, it was not like that at all. Half of the Americans were like, yes, must stop communism. And the other half of the Americans were like, this is wrong. Why are we trying to police the whole world? Like, and then also it was a war in which people were drafted that didn't really want to go. So you had a lot of people burn their draft cards or do things to escape the draft. So we will talk about how Vietnam and the Cold War in general affected Americans. There's going to be a video on that. And then that's actually the only thing that we're going to use the textbook for. So we are going to read all of chapter 16 in the textbook. Now, I know especially those of you who had Miss Jockin, she did not get you connected to the virtual textbook very well. So I'm actually creating like a textbook file for you of the, let's see if I can show it right now. Let me go back to my drive. I am going to put together, like I created a whole like not PowerPoint, Google Doc of chapter 16 in the textbook so that you all would not have to figure out how to download the textbook because I just want to make this as easy as possible for you. So this is what I've done is I created it like where I just took screenshots of the actual like digital textbook for you. Of course, it's not loading now. There we go. And so I put it all just on a Google Doc that I will share with all of you. So don't stress about, oh my gosh, I have to get onto it. But because it's there, it's all on there. So I'm going to be sharing those with you. And so we'll do like one lesson that first week. I'll get back to Google Classroom. Where was I? There we are. So I will share the first lesson with you as it gets closer to week 13. I can also on this to-do list, I'll just link like everything on here. So even though it's not posted, you can work ahead. Like I already linked the Quizlet set, I'll link everything. I'll try to get that done today. So it's all linked in there. And then extra credit if you watch Forrest Gump, but you have to have parent permission. So you must say that your parents know you're watching Forrest Gump if you can find Forrest Gump too. And I also can't just share it broadly because it's rated R. But if you have it, if you can find it and you want to watch it, that's extra credit too. So we'll do lesson 1 the last week of April. Then, and there's not a lot that week because that's also when you're working on the project.
When is the final?
I'll get to
How will we
finals.
take the final?
I'm gonna get to finals. Then week 14, we are going to talk about really how people here protested the Vietnam War like crazy. And so you've seen some of that probably already, because like every hippie movie that exists is about, you know, like make love, not war, peace, you know, like the literal like peace came from, you know, Vietnam War protests. So we're going to look at that, and that we're just going to kind of look at in the textbook. It'll be super easy stuff. And then I put a Quizlet set on there too about the Vietnam War. Then we're going to look at how teens really engaged during the Vietnam War. That picture is a picture of two people who they wore peace like armbands, like that they're holding up to school during the Vietnam War, and their principal suspended them for doing it, said that they were a distraction. And so they sued the school district, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court actually said they lost in the Supreme Court. And it said that like principals of schools do have a right to restrict free speech where it is distracting if it is otherwise, as long as it's like universal. They can't be like, yeah, you can wear shirts that are anti-gun, but you can't wear shirts that are anti-war. If they like universally say like, you know, no shirts with logos or no armbands or stuff. So we're going to read an article about that. It's an upfront article. It'll be just like the ones that we've been doing. You read the article, you like annotate, you take a quiz on it, and that'll be a Google quiz on that too. Then we're going to talk about America's military today. I know some of you are probably considering joining the military. There are some benefits. I know a lot of you have family members in the military, older siblings and cousins, uncles, aunts. I have several uncles in the military and cousins in the military. So we're going to talk about the military and sort of we're going to read an upfront article about who fights America's wars, the people, like what do they have in common and things like that. One of the surprising things is it's most often children of military, that if your parents join the military, you're like significantly more likely to join the military. And then we're going to watch a video about how the draft works, because a lot of people don't know what like the draft is. It is one of the things that are like your responsibilities as a citizen if you're a male. Is that men have to register like for the draft. Like every time you move, you have to register it with the government, with the draft. Usually do it through DMV, like with your driver's license. But at any time, the United States government could be like, we're sending out a draft and you all have to go to war. And so we're going to do it was going to be like an in-class debate, but we don't have in class anymore. So what I will probably do is a writing assignment, or you could attend a Zoom meeting in which we have a debate, and it'll be either or. You do the writing assignment or attend the debate. But you have to participate in the debate. You can't just keep on mute and get credit. So we'll talk about the draft, and then we will just do a review of all the modern wars, because we're going to talk a little about the Korean War next week before we hit the Vietnam War. We'll talk about the Vietnam War, so World War I, World War II. So there will be a quiz on all of those. I might make it just a Google Docs quiz instead of an actual Google quiz, even though it takes me longer to grade, because some people are telling me that they're having trouble, like they accidentally hit back on their computer and it like lost everything they did on the midterm and they had to do it again. And that's so annoying. And I know some of you that have spotty internet, like I don't want you to like lose internet and then have to do it all over again. So, and the midterm wasn't that long, but so the Modern Wars quiz might be just real short on Google Quiz, or it'll be on Google Docs, but you'll get a quiz on that. And then I said quiz and test, and I use those interchangeably, but really I mean test. It's a test on the Modern Wars. And by Modern Wars, I mean World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and then also when we talk about the draft, we'll talk about like the wars of the Middle East that are happening right now. And then the first week of June, we're going to talk about what it means to be a citizen in the U.S. today, and could you pass the U.S. citizenship test and what that looks like today. And then your final exam is a mock citizenship test, which is usually closed book because it's closed book when you actually take it. But it can't be closed book because you're at home. So it's just going to be a Google quiz pretty much. And I'm going to give you all of the questions you can find information. Like if you just Google studying for the U.S. citizenship test, you will find like it's a ton of information. They normally give it orally. But like when you actually go to take the citizenship test, there's questions they'll ask you orally. So they'll be like, can you name 2 states that border Canada? Can you name 2 states that border Mexico? Those are like some of the questions that are on the U.S. citizenship test. What I will do is give you all of them, but won't tell you like which like 10 will be on the test. That'll be your final exam. But sort of a surprise, your final exam will not actually be worth as much as your midterm. It'll be real short. But it really summarizes like everything for the whole year. But because it's not closed book and you could look stuff up and whatever, it won't be worth as much. And you'll notice though that it's going to be sent out June 8th. And it'll be due June 10th by midnight with an opportunity for corrections. But that'll just be partial credit because it's like easy stuff. By June 12th. And you'll be thinking to yourself, but school doesn't get out until June 19th. Well, we are doing finals the week of June 8th to give you time to catch up and give us time to catch up. Because since we're not there with you to help you work on your projects and things like that, like it's a little bit different in that you have to, you know, like you might do an entire assignment and then find out after you did it that you did the whole thing wrong. Which sucks. Whereas normally in class, I'd be walking around and be like, wait, no, this is the wrong box or something. So that way we want to make sure you have plenty of time that if you get like a D- on an assignment that you were like, oh, what, how did I get a D on that you can go back and fix it. So we have that extra week in there to make sure that you can check everything, that you can look over things, that you can get as high of a score as possible. I also want to point out that we have the Do Something project that we're doing with English, and that is due approximately May 13th, 15th, something like that, second week of May. So your distance learning tasks are on there. Trying to wrap up. I revised the syllabus to explain my new late work policy, which is on there. I'll show that right now too, just so that you see it. Late work policy right now is basically like, I'll try to zoom in. So the idea is, you know, can you turn in late work? So yes, everything, that's fine. You can turn in late work. But so the question is, have you communicated with me? And if it's yes, and you said, oh, my internet has been spotty, or, you know, my parents were working crazy hours and I was watching my siblings, I fell a little bit behind, then yes, I'm totally going to take it. Have you logged on to Google Classroom and worked on it? So like if I see, like when I create a Google Doc for you, if I see that you logged onto it and you started it or something, then yes, things are fine. Now, what's not okay, however, is like if you just disappear for the whole month of April and then like May 15th, they're like, hey, can I just turn in everything that I missed from like March 13th to now? I'm going to be like, no, just start doing the work now. Because you can't just disappear. That's like being truant. So how we're counting attendance right now is if you turn in an assignment for the week, you're present. If you don't turn in an assignment, you have to contact the teacher and explain why you didn't turn in an assignment. Otherwise, you're considered not present. So, and then I revised the syllabus to explain all of that. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Oh, and the Do Something project. So I posted the whole project a while ago. This was going to be a group project, but now it's a lot harder to do as a group project. So it's independent and it's via social distancing, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. So there's all these things on Do Something's website that you can do. Look through them, click the links, pick one. But then when you click the link too, so if you're like, yes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create a video about responsible internet behavior for kids, and you like think you can do that, which like my daughter, she needs that. If you make that video, like I'm going to share it with the elementary school teachers. They are like so overwhelmed with having to teach kids responsible internet behavior. Like even like just teaching my daughter not to like have her headphones on and then like the volume up too loud, she's going to like permanently damage her hearing. So see where it says sign up on there, the big giant blue sign up. click that and actually do the sign up process, because you won't get all like their directions of what to include and everything until you click sign up. They'll tell you like, oh, here's the problem, here's the solution, and like and then they'll tell you, we'll give you facts on this. And so like they'll give you the information to make the like, you know, video lesson about it. So you could even offer to like, if you have an elementary school teacher you remember that you like a lot, you could offer to like be part of their Zoom meetings with theirs and like do a little bit on that instead of a video, or lots of ideas. So, and I'm totally available to discuss the Do Something project via email, or if you want to Google Hangout me, whatever. You can also like invite me on the chat window in Google Hangouts if you download the app, and then just, you know, like send me a chat or text me or anything. So I think that's mostly it. Your decision on the project is due tonight. If you don't like any of those projects, you can choose your own. Oh, and there is another extra credit assignment via World War I, which is due this week too, but it's extra credit. Extra credit is all extra credit. Realize you don't have to do any of it. However, realize I'm going to do whole points now. Do you have to show your face, or can it be voiceover? It could totally be voiceover. Like the ones I've been doing where I do the screencast videos where like I go through a PowerPoint and just do my voice. Those are very helpful lessons. What was it? Oh yeah, the Women at War thing. Extra credit, Women at War. I see no one in period 6 has done it. It's on Netflix. Just write a 1-page reflection about that. Oh, the other thing I wanted to address was PBS and KCET. So if there's an assignment that you look at and you're like, I don't like this assignment, I don't want to do this assignment, then just don't do it and say, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go do this extra credit thing instead. Except for the tests. You have to take the tests. Those are worth a lot. Like the midterms are 75 points. So no extra credit is going to do that. But like if you look at World War I and you're like, I don't like this article, go watch the movie. So LAUSD has partnered with PBS and KCET to do a bunch of really cool free content. I would love to know everything that they're going to show between now and June, but I don't. They only post it 1 week at a time. Most of the stuff this week is related to world history, not U.S. history. But as I see things, I will post them and be like, oh, you should watch this. There's a KCET app for Apple TV and a KCET app for the Roku. We have a Roku. And you can also watch it all, I think, online if you just log onto their website. And if you have regular TV, it's just like on regular cable TV on the PBS channel or KCET. So you can check their schedule online, and I'll post things when I see them. If it relates to anything that we're doing, which a lot of it will, because they kind of like everybody sort of studies the civil rights movement and the Cold War around this time. So a lot of it in California will be related to what we're doing. So if you see something that you're like, we studied that, and you watch it, send me a lovely picture of you watching it, write me a quick summary, and I'll give you your extra credit. I think I'm done. I was trying to keep it to 30 minutes. We're at 33. What questions do you have?
I think they've been saying it throughout.
Yeah. But I was talking the whole time, so maybe they need to check the sounds to think.
You talked about the final, right?
Yeah, final's going to be short. Citizenship test. Is watching this live? Yes. If you comment in the live chat today, then you are present. But present this week is just doing the midterm, really. Like if you don't do the midterm, I'm going to be like, what happened to you?
Like the comment counts? Or
yes.
Just not being there, but they have to comment.
Yeah. But if all you do this week is comment and you don't turn in the midterm and you don't turn in the Do Something project, I guess you're still present. However, you're really behind. So catch up now. Everybody's like, I'm going to comment. The main thing for this week is the midterm, though. And I'll get midterm grades out by tomorrow. The final is June 8th. I will post your final June 8th, and it is due on June 10th. But then you'll have until June 19th to catch up. So that if you get your final and you're like, oh my gosh, I have a D+. The one thing I want to promise you, do we have to mark as done to get the midterm score? It would help me, but no, you don't have to. I will eventually go through and score it. It takes me a while to score them because there are some short answers that some of them I'm giving partial credit. And so I have to go through and read all of them. Is your grade updated? Kinda. I haven't entered the midterm yet. They told us initially not to enter any grades until they were sure that everyone had access to technology and to give you time to catch up. So, given that a lot of you just picked up your computers right before spring break, there's still, I'm still going to make sure I give you plenty of time to catch up. So I haven't entered a lot yet. But I've entered more stuff in Google Classroom than I have in the actual gradebook. So, but I'll have everything updated soon. The Do Something project, what is due today? It's just what we planned. Yeah, it's just your idea. So, but try to be specific. Like if you say, oh, I'm going to do the one that's like a thank you project for the counselors, say which counselor and how you plan to get in touch with alumni to get things, or if you're just going to do stuff for your class. But like when you look at something and you think, oh, I could do this or that, like how Alejandro's like, oh, I'm going to do a screencast and just talk over it. Like talk about that, like explain your strategy. So yeah, it's just a quick survey and then explaining your strategy. You don't actually have to like do anything yet on the project. Just tell us what you're going to do. And we might ask some questions. Brandon, I think you already turned it in, right? I think so. But so those of you who have already turned it in, it's like set as a quiz, but it's not really a quiz. You just get full credit for turning it in. Will the final be multiple choice? Parts of it will, parts of it will be short answer. But the short answer stuff is stuff you can look up. It's like, and you can Google the short answers like for them. Like if you go to what's on the United States citizenship test, you'll find so many websites. And the ones that they ask you, they'll ask you things like, who is your senator right now? And you have 2 senators right now, and you have to name them. But you can look them up. So like I said, the final is like going to be so easy. Like don't stress the final. The thing that you're going to want to study more for in between now and then is that test on the modern wars. For the welcome sheet. So what you're going to do for the welcome sheet is it should be something that's like, you could either make like a brochure or you can just write it as like a Google Doc. And then you'll want to make the Google Doc shareable in public. And what we will probably do is we will use them for like a freshman orientation and we will give them to people. So that way it's like and it would help for maybe if you put a little picture of you on it, you know, your name, so that way the freshmen know, oh, hey, like I know a 12th grader on campus. There's somebody I know that I could reach out to. And, you know, you don't have to include any like contact information or anything on it, but just turn in like a public Google Doc to us that we would be able to be like able to share. And so Mr. Shoji really loved that idea. And he was really excited to be able to turn into his freshman. And I'll probably have a freshman advisory next year. So I'll be able to share with mine. So, is your grade oh, no, we already answered that one. That's right. Okay. Oh, grades. Let's talk really quickly about grades too. The grades for us, our cutoff is April 24th. Good luck with that. What's that? I don't know. Anyway, the grades are cutting off April 24th, and then we're going to turn them in by the following Wednesday, and you should get them in the mail like the first week of May at the very latest. Your parents will get your grades in the mail. We are mailing all of them to make sure everybody gets it. So report cards will go out in the mail the first week of May. Other than that, you probably won't get a progress report until the very last progress report. And then unless you like aren't doing well. If you're not passing things, then you'll get another report card a little bit closer. But that's still the report card that's going out. So if you have things that you're behind on from March, just catch up. Send me an email. Let me know what you're behind on, and I will, you know, work with you. If there's things you're confused about, let me know. If you've got a grade on something that you don't like, you're like, how did I only get 12 out of 20 on that? You know, just redo it. Send me an email if you weren't sure. So I think I'm about to wrap up. If there are no other questions, I'll give it another minute. And then if you think of something that you didn't ask now, you can text me or join my 7 o'clock one of these too. So, all right, y'all. So I'm going to say peace out for now. Thank you for attending. And I miss you all. Stay
Miss
inside.
you.
Stay safe. Have a good week.
Bye.